Andreas, and I tell true stories about terrible moments in my life. Because if you laugh, then it was all worth it. This is the story of how I missed the bus and went to jail. Let me set the scene a bit. I was in a city in America called Baltimore. Baltimore is a pretty rough town. Baltimore is such a rough town that if you're caught in a dark alley and a shadowy figure comes up to you, you just mug yourself. You don't even give them a chance. You're just like, please, there's my phone and my wallet and the watch. Please just don't harm me. It's weird when they do the same thing back to you. And I'm going to take a bus because I'm moving to New York. I got a job at MTV. Job starts on Monday. Buses 5 o'clock on the Friday. Got a bus to go to the city. And I was raised, like many of us, on Friends and How I Met Your Mother and Sex and the City. And I've got this image. This is my big shot break, catapulting to the top, the very heights of show business. Turns out my job was actually an unpaid internship, writing tweets to build hype for the next episode of Teen Mom. Sorry, my accent. Teen Mom. Whatever that meant. I'm running late, and just as I arrive at the bus station, I see my bus is there, and I run right up to the door. Just as I reach the door closes in my face, clunk, and I'm upset, naturally. So what I decide to do is I run around in front of the bus, and I guess that MTV had been getting to my head. And I'm like, you can't leave without me. It's me. I'm waving my bus. I'm waving my bus at the ticket. Ticket and the bus driver, asking him to let me in. And we get a bit of a circular argument with him saying, "Get out of the way!" And I'm like, I'd love to get out of the way as soon as you open the doors. And again, we can just through this back and forth. I'm feeling a bit pointless and trying to find a way out of this with my pride intact. And all of a sudden, a bus station police officer comes out of the station, which frankly has to be one of the easiest gigs for a cop in that city. He comes out and he says, he decides he's got to get involved, clearly. "Sir, move away from the vehicle." And I do. And I walk away and allowing it passage. And I could have left it there, but I decided, nagging feeling, just add a little bit more. I kind of motion like a matador. Ole! He didn't like that. "No, sir, come towards me." So I walk towards him. He says, "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." He's the police. You gotta listen to what he says. Wait, hang on. Clunk. The handcuffs come on, and a crowd had formed. Well, they were waiting for their bus, but let's say they formed, because I was the most interesting going on thing in that station. I look at them, kind of give them a look like, come on, is he serious? And then he calls backup and prisoner transport. I think, shit, this is real. I'm going to jail. There's gonna be criminals there. What are they gonna think of me? So I kind of trying to take the perspective of these criminals. I look down at myself and, oh no. Oh, Andreas, why? Listen to what I had on. This is my prison outfit. I had puffy black high top trainers, because at that point I thought I was really cool 19-year-old. Baby blue Ralph Lauren short shorts with the little red horsey, just in case there's any doubt. And the kind of cherry on top is I'm wearing a white t-shirt. It says 3 words in red block capitals of increasing size. Let's have fun. So the police are joined by a colleague. They have this ability to kind of quickly dig down to the heart of your fears, like Dementor or my mother. And they're like, oh, you a tourist? Oh, you're on a student visa? Oh, you're gonna lose your student visa? And I'm like, no, I need that for MTV. And they quickly realize, as it's not too hard to tell, I'm kind of a posh guy from England, and they are just loving it. They say, new flavor of arrest. It's so delicious. Oh, so good. It tastes like toffee, or is it dulce de leche? I don't know. He's Latino and English. No. And eventually the prisoner transport vehicle arrives and they throw me in with gusto. I land hard on the floor and they close the doors behind me. Clunk. And I'm sitting in the bench in this vehicle, and I realize I'm supremely uncomfortable. And I reckon it's because I've got my hands handcuffed behind my back. But I realize, get up in the vehicle and while it's moving, and if I just put my hands under my leg like this, I can just get it through to the other side, and that'd be way more better. Yeah, I see, because the position, you can't quite, anyway, back behind the back it goes. Oh no. What is happening? What is happening? Oh no. This is what's gonna happen. They're gonna open that door and they're gonna start laughing at me. And then they're gonna get their other police friends out the jail and they're also gonna start laughing at me. And then they're all gonna start chanting, pretzel boy, pretzel boy, pretzel, I'm not pretzel boy! Eventually I get my other hand out. We get to the jail, and the standard procedure is what you expect, fingerprints, splish, splosh, and picture, click. They lead me into the jail cell and close the door behind me. Clunk. I'm the first one in the cell, and I have no reference point for this whatsoever. I have never been to jail before. I don't know anyone who's been to jail before, but I've got movies. That's my one reference point. And I know jail, it's all about turf. Go up to the biggest guy you can find and just punch him in the face. So I'm not doing that. In fact, I find I can position myself tactically. So I find a spot on the floor, and I sit with holding my knees, because I have this ridiculous t-shirt on, and just kind of make myself as small as possible in the least desirable space I can find. And eventually they start letting others in. And this is the point in the movie, I'm thinking, where one guy looks to the other guy and says, hey, what you in here for? I'm like, this is real life, it's not gonna happen. But we're just sitting there in silence. It's broken by a guy sitting on the bunk, who looks over at another guy also sitting on the bunk, and he says, so, what you in here for? And for a moment I lose myself. I'm giddy like a child who's just seen a movie star. Oh my god, they really did it. Oh wait, shit, focus, Andreas. Jail, Andreas. Jail. So, for those of you who've never been in this kind of situation, this is how it works. It kind of takes on a feel like a twisted group therapy. A guy will say what it was his crime, and another will lead with, that's bullshit, man. And then no matter what the crime was, the whole room will join in with a, that's bullshit. I don't really remember the names of the people who were in there with me, but I do remember their crimes. I had stole a box of candy from a dollar store, which frankly is bullshit. Caught with a little bit of heroin in his car, which is like, and we have a beat up bike owner. To clarify the story is he actually stole a bike from another guy, and that guy tried to steal his bike back. He beat him up for that badly and got arrested for it, which is bullshit. I mean, I'm not voicing that opinion. And eventually they go through the whole room, and someone haven't done me, and a guy yells, hey, shorts, what you in here for? I'm sitting on the ground and stood in front of a bus. Hey, Shorts, speak up. I stood in front of a bus. Oh well, that forced accent didn't last long. Then I tell them the story that I just told you all. And when I finish my story, there's silence. Until Heroin in his car says, okay, so, man, what we in here for? That's some bullshit or whatever. What you in here for? That's some real bullshit. To which I get a unanimous, that's some bullshit. And as it's not too hard to deduce, they quickly realized I'm a posh English boy. And they love it. But not like the police as a target, they genuinely find it fascinating. And for some reason, because of where I'm from, they need to tell me, they are telling me a lot about where they're from and how they kind of got to this situation. We're talking for a long time, and I knew I was really like in there when one guy spotted a friend who was walking down the hallway, and we can see it because it's the jail bar doors, led by a police, and he goes, hey, check it, I made a friend from London. And I was like, I'm in there. That's what that means, clearly. You know, now I know. They're not being nice. So in the American jail system, the way it works, you got 24 hours they can hold you for, and you get processed, which basically just means they move you from room to room. And at one point in the night, I guess another room became too full, and this guy comes in, and he's not wearing street clothes like the rest of us. You know immediately this guy's badass. Comes in, full orange jumpsuit, doesn't talk to anyone, lays down one of the bunks, boom, pretends like he's asleep. It's the most comfortable place in the world for him. Eventually we find out that he is multiple armed robbery. And that's when it hits me. Oh, I'm in the bitch cell. That's what we all have. And that guy stole candy. Yeah, that makes sense. At the end of the night, the last thing that happens is you speak to the commissioner. So we're in line to go up to his desk. And the guy in front of me is beat up bike owner. He gets 6 weeks jail time and is told he has to show up in court to find out on more. So I'm naturally shitting myself. I follow behind him and prop. The commissioner grabs my file off the pile on his desk and he reads through the whole police report and then looks up at me and says, "That's some bullshit. Thank you very much. Good night." Let me welcome the super talented, extremely funny, I've known him since we were tiny, he's huge, Ed Mulvey.